Anuvistam stapitam jena bhutale svayam rupa kadamayam dadati swapandantikam. Today we are going to discuss text 6 of Sri Damodar Astakam. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Dristi Vristyati Dinam Batanu Grihanesha Mam Agnam Edi Akshidrisya. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor, ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. So, this is the 6th verse, and you may recall how yesterday there was the prayer for boon of seeing the beautiful face of the Lord, which was compared to be like a lotus flower, and his curling locks of hair were said to be just like the bumblebees which encircle a lotus flower. The bumblebees also have the same bluish-black hue, and sometimes we see on the whiskers of the bumblebees some pollen has come, perhaps yellow or red pollen. So similarly, within the beautiful curls of the Lord, it is overall a bluish-black hue, and some reddish tint is also there. Is that a prasadam ground? So there was a desire to see the Lord, to see His beautiful face, and the prayer went, may this vision always appear eternally within my mind. So now, again, there is a prayer made. But by this time, the effect of chanting a mantra is that the mantra is not different than the subject which it is conveying. Just as we say, the Hare Krishna mantra is not different than Krishna himself. So, by reciting these prayers, the reciter has gradually received the mercy of the Lord, and so now he is feeling transcendental ecstasy, or bhava. And this particular prayer is expressed in the mood of this bhava. Bhava is the first ray of the sun of prema. Prema means premana maharta mahan. That the goal is to achieve prema, and the beginning of prema is like the full sun, is a ray, and that ray is called bhava. So it is defined as ecstatic love of God. So this prayer is recited in that mood of ecstasy. And in this prayer, the reciter is now saying, not that I want to see the Lord within my heart or within my mind, but he ends the prayer by saying, and please become visible to me. So now, in this prayer, he comes to the point of saying that I directly want to see the Lord before me. How this can be achieved is also indicated in this prayer, because one of the special features of this prayer is Nam Sankirtan. There is a regular and repeated utterance of the names of the Lord in this prayer. And this shows that if one wants to achieve a direct vision of the Lord, the only way it's possible is by the recitation of the holy names of the Lord. So these are some of the main points that will come out here. In other words, after fixing the mind on the form of the Lord, by regularly reciting the names of the Lord, then one will actually be able to see the Lord. This should give us some direction or guidance in how we can chant. When we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, of course in the beginning our minds are wandering hither and thither, and we just try to make our minds free of any other thought by chanting loudly. But after so many years of chanting, it should come to the point where we can actually fix the form of the Lord within our mind. Just like sometimes it is said to chant in front of the deity, or someone may chant in front of a picture, the idea being to fix the form of the worshipable deity within the mind. And then if one chants very nicely, without wandering, without the mind's wandering, the effect will come that gradually one will be able to experience the qualities and pastimes of the Lord. Of course, that will take time for those things to come spontaneously, but at least this is the process of proper chanting that has to be followed as one makes gradual advancement. So the prayer begins with Namo Deva. Namo. Namo means I bow down. Because all prayers should begin with the humble supplication. When we pray, we should learn prayers. Prabhupada states this. Not that we need to create our own prayers, but there are so many beautiful prayers. Namo would be followed by the word Tubhyam. Tubhyam means to you. But here we see that there's no mention of Tubhyam in this particular verse. Why? Because he is in ecstasy. He is feeling actual love of God, and so he is not even mentioning this point unto you. It is clear it will be unto Krishna because he starts to sing the names of Krishna. So he drops the formality of the word Tubhyam, and he begins Namo Deva. Immediately he starts to call out to his worshipable deity. So this is spontaneous prayer that is coming now. If he's feeling ecstasy, this prayer is the result of that ecstatic feeling. He's already feeling ecstasy. As a result of all the previous prayers, as a result of fixing the form of the Lord within the heart, now he is feeling some transcendental reciprocation. And so he is reciting this verse. Normally, so then now we can begin. So he expresses his own unworthiness in this prayer. And he also prays to the Lord to receive special mercy from the Lord. Prasida, the word prasida. Prasida prabhu dukkha jalabdi magnam. Prasida means prasadam, to get the mercy of the Lord. How we can get the mercy of the Lord, there are different ways for receiving the Lord's grace or mercy. But generally we say, Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nakatir katopi. That unless we please the spiritual master or the saintly devotees of the Lord, there is no way that we can get the mercy of the Lord. Why? Because they are the dispensers of the Lord's mercy. The Lord very rarely directly bestows mercy. Generally, mercy is bestowed through the devotee. And therefore, we're always advised to seek out, to search out the devotee so that we can get that mercy. Because he contains the mercy. He is called Ashraya Vigraha. Ashraya Vigraha Ashraya means shelter. So a devotee is a shelter of what? He's a shelter of Krishna's kripa, of Krishna's mercy. He's a shelter of the nice qualities which Krishna has, and he reflects those qualities. He's a shelter of transcendental attachment and love for Krishna. So in all respects, we go to that ashraya, that container, that shelter, and beg some mercy from him. And what is the mercy he gives us? Krishna's mercy. So he's praying, please give me your prasad. Please be pleased with me and award me your mercy. Kripa drista vristya. Kripa dristi vristya. Please show me your mercy by showering me with your nectar-laden glances. Now, he wants some very special, specific mercy. He wants to have the Lord glance upon him. He wants practically to have a vision of the Lord. Now, someone may say, we have always heard, don't try to see the Lord, but act in a way in which the Lord will show himself to you. This verse does not contradict that. It is to be understood that this is a sincere devotee. He is praying sincerely. And it is natural that after a while, when you are serving someone with love and devotion, naturally you will want to see that person. Why? Why do you want to see that person? So you can render more service. A devotee does not desire liberation, even to the point of going to Vaikuntha for personal sense gratification. But it is mentioned that a devotee will agree for having the liberation of going to the spiritual world for the purpose of increasing service. So he wants to see the Lord. Why? So he can render service. Not so that he can just be the receiver. He wants to be able to do genuine service to the Lord. Anugrihana. Please uplift me and enthuse me with real life. Sometimes it is explained that material life is a shadow or ghost-like form of existence. And practically when we see materialists walking about on the street, we sometimes think, from a spiritual perspective, these people are like living dead or walking dead. They're like dead people walking about in a ghostly or shadow-like existence. They don't actually understand what is transcendental reality and transcendental life. So, out of his humility, the reciter of this verse is saying, I feel like a dead man. Because I cannot see you, I feel like a dead man, and I want you to restore my life to me by glancing upon me. Actually, even in the present condition, we are almost practically dead. Because it is explained that when one, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained, that when one receives the mercy of the Lord, the descent of Ladini Shakti, Bhakti comes, Bhakti Devi comes, then all of one's senses become enlivened. And the example is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 7th chapter, Narad Muni. It is explained that when Narada Muni became he explains to Vyasadeva that all of his senses became awakened and enlivened in transcendental love for the Lord. So, at the present moment, we may think that we're okay. Our eyelids are moving, our hands move, right? We can move our body here and there. But actually, we are not very much alive yet. We will actually become alive when the Lord bestows His special mercy upon us. So this devotee knows that, and he is desiring like this. He's praying for this. He says, I am very low. Dukkha jalabdi magnam. I am immersed in an ocean of misery. Sometimes we say the material world is like a huge ocean of suffering, and we are being tossed about in that ocean. The spirit soul is a passenger. The human body is like a boat, and it's being tossed about. Sometimes you don't get a human body. Sometimes you get a lower berth. When you get a lower berth, it's even worse. At least the boat is a suitable boat when it's a human body to cross the ocean. But what if you get an animal berth, or a worm's berth, an insect's berth? Then it's like being in the middle of an ocean, balancing on just a chip of wood or something. In other words, not much hope of crossing the ocean. So we have been bouncing about, tossing about the waves of material existence from so many lifetimes. Now we have got a human form of life. It is actually a rare opportunity. He says, I'm suffering. I'm suffering, I'm seasick from so many lifetimes of being tossed about. This word dukkha. Dukkha means pain. What kind of pain? Well, one type of pain is the pain of repeated birth and death. Certainly birth is painful. The child screams when it comes out of the mother's womb. Growing up is painful. Old age is painful. Death is painful. So certainly there is dukkha. Or dukkha can be another type of dukkha. Because sometimes when we see that there's another type of dukkha, which is spiritual separation from the Lord. That type of pain is there also. That may also be, the word dukkha may mean that also here. In the advanced state of Krishna consciousness, one doesn't feel pain from material existence, one feels the pain of separation from Krishna. The fact that we don't feel that pain indicates that we don't have much spiritual advancement because we're feeling fine. We're only feeling material suffering, tired, hot, bored, whatever it may be. But spiritual separation creates another pain. You see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the manifestations which he went through in feeling separation from Krishna. That is transcendental pain. So many emotions. Now sometimes people become confused. They see all of these emotions in a devotee and they wonder, what is that? Sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's manifestation of symptoms could not be understood by the ordinary persons. But these are all transcendental emotions. We shouldn't think that spiritual life is free from any type of emotion. It is full of all varieties of emotions. And whatever we see here is simply a perverted reflection of real spiritual emotions. It's not that the spiritual world and spiritual life is without transcendental emotion. Can you put these fans higher, please? Jalam. Jalam means a net of illusion. Net of illusion, not this one. Why don't you work it instead of having someone who doesn't know what to do? Jala means a net of illusion. And there are so many types of illusions. The first and biggest illusion is that we think that we are this body. And from this illusion, all other illusions are expanded. So, the ocean is very vast. There are nets of illusion cast within it. We have improper vessels to sail in. Very, very difficult situation to get out of the material world. And magnam. What does magnam mean? Submerged. On top of all of this, I'm not even able to stay afloat. I'm sinking at every moment. So he's expressing his unworthiness. One of the signs of a neophyte devotee is he thinks he's very advanced. But here is a devotee expressing these feelings, and yet we know he's experiencing bhava bhakti. So the more advanced you become, the more fallen you'll feel. And the less advanced you are, the more you think you're doing quite all right. So, ati dinam. Dina. I am distressed due to worldly affliction. And what is the other distress? I don't have the association of sadhus. I'm not getting good sadhu sangha. I'm not able to get the association of advanced devotees. This is the greatest misfortune in the discussions between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. Who is the most unfortunate person? Who doesn't have the association of advanced devotees. So we have to seek out that association. Somehow or other we have to find it out. Because it's actually the only means for advancement in spiritual life, is this advanced association. Or ati dinam, I am distressed for another reason, because I cannot see you, my Lord. The different ways of understanding. And agnam, I am ignorant about how to resolve this problem. What should I do? I want to see you, but I cannot. I'm caught in the material whirlpool of misery. I am very unable, incompetent, incapable. Please, what should I do? In this way, he is praying. Actually, this is how we should pray. Every day when you chant your rounds, to begin with, when you start the chant, first of all, you should pray to Harinam Prabhu, saying, I am most unqualified. I have so many bad habits. I am addicted to sinful life in so many ways. I have no taste, no understanding. I am a fool. But you, my Lord, are all merciful and kind. And I know that you can deliver me from this nescience, this net of ignorance. So we should pray in this type of mood. Actually, we should pray within our mind before chanting. And when we go in parikram, we should pray. When we bow down before the deities, we should pray. If you don't pray, if you just mumble, Namam Vishnu Padaya, you can do that, but you wasted a good opportunity. You can do everything in a mechanical way, but you'll waste so many opportunities. And then you'll say, that's all right. Prabhupada said, as long as you just chant 16 rounds and follow 4 regular prayers, I'm going back to Godhead. It's automatic. Everything's automatic. Well, I have not read anything that's automatic in spiritual life. Nothing is automatic. If you don't have a genuine desire and eagerness to do all of these things, how will you achieve love of God? And if you don't get love of God, there will always be the possibility of falling down. There always can take place. So we should never become complacent, taking things for granted, just mechanically performing the different bhakti angas, the different parts of bhakti. Each one of the things should be done with genuine feeling. And if you don't have the feeling, then you should pray for the feeling. Not just do the motions. Just like we're doing a motion of arti, you can do the mechanical motion of an arti, but when the gopis do arti, it's not mechanical. You can imagine when Prabhupada installed deities and he was doing arti, it wasn't mechanical. When Narottam Thakur installed the first deity of Lord Chaitanya, right, and they had a big Gaur Purnima festival, can you imagine what was in his heart? And what is not in our heart? So until those things come in the heart, what is the question of going back to Godhead? You think you're going to go back to God and then it's all going to happen? It has to happen first, step by step. That is the whole point of Madhurya Kadambini. From Shraddha to Prem. Now you find out where you are. If you're somewhere in the beginning, then realize it and understand what you're going to have to go through. And if you don't make the effort, it will not happen. So, Shakshat Darshan, direct vision, is his desire. This is what he's asking for. Notice that before he says, he comes at the very end, the last word, Akshi Drishya. I want to perceive you with my eyes. Where is that? The very two last words, Akshi Drishya. Why? Because this is how you make a prayer. First of all, he says, I bow down. I am unqualified. I am fool. I am this and I am that. And you are all of the most wonderful things. And then at the end, he makes his request. This is the proper sequence of how to pray. Not that you just start off right away with saying, I need this. First of all, express your unworthiness, lack of qualification. Express your humility, your subservience. Praise the Lord and say, now please save me from this situation. So, Sanatana Goswami has given in Brihad Bhagavatamrita many nice explanations of how, you may recall 2 verses ago in text 4, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, he had spoken through the sage Pipalayana to Gopakumar about how it's for the Gyani Bhaktas, they want to see the Lord in the heart. The yogis like to meditate on the Lord in the heart. Now we hear from the Parishad, the Bhagavat Parishad. That means the personal associates of Bhagavan, who are from Narayan's planet, Vishnu, Narayan Loka, Vaikuntha Loka. Now they're speaking, and they're not in favor of seeing the Lord in the heart. They want to see Him face to face. And as this comes later on in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we take it this is superior. So now this verse comes, text 6 comes 2 verses after 4. Now he's come to the point, I don't only want to see you in the mind, I want to see you face to face. So he gives some explanations. That, for example, Kardama Muni and Dhruva Maharaj, they saw the Lord face to face. And the bliss that they received could not be compared with the bliss that one receives simply from seeing the Lord in the heart. This is the result of practicing the ninefold process of bhakti. When one sees the Lord in the heart, the root of ignorance, of maya, is completely dispelled, and prema bhakti increases unlimitedly. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is an example to show us how it's superior to see the Lord face to face. First of all, he was always meditating on the Lord within the heart. And then, by that meditation, Nrsingadev appeared before him. So that came after his meditation. Now, sometimes it is seen that devotees close their eyes after seeing the Lord. And the example is given of the 4 Kumaras. When they saw the Lord, they saw him from head to toe. Remember when they got a vision of Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha? They beheld his beautiful form, etc., and then his feet. And then they closed their eyes. So sometimes it is argued that this proves that even after seeing the form of the Lord, they had to see one part of the body, then another part. They closed their eyes because seeing him within the mind was superior. This is an argument given. Sanatana Goswami is giving the argument like this. So he says, first of all, that the 4 Kumaras were Gyani Bhaktas. And their nature is they like to see in the mood of dhyana or meditation the Lord. But he says that when a devotee closes his eyes, because someone may argue that sometimes it is seen that even after getting a darshan of the Lord, one closes his eyes. This proves meditation is better than seeing directly. But Sanatana Goswami says, no. When a devotee closes his eyes, it's because of being overwhelmed by ecstasy. And just as there are different symptoms or sattvika bhavas, transcendental manifestations of ecstasy on the body, just like standing of hairs on the end, shivering, and other things, this closing the eyes is like one of these. It's a sign of ecstasy. So when a pure devotee closes his eyes upon seeing the Lord, it doesn't indicate that he's going into samadhi and doing internal meditation. It means he has become completely overwhelmed by ecstatic emotions. So, in any case, the conclusion is that the greatest bliss is obtained by direct seeing of the Lord, direct vision of the Lord. Now, how is that achieved? By Nam Kirtan. And in this verse today, we see there are so many different names of the Lord. Deva, Damodar, Ananta, Vishnu, Prabhu, all are here. This is Nam Kirtan, Nam Sankirtan. So, Deva means Divya Rupa, O Lord of divine beauty. This is the meaning of Deva, not just master. And what happens due to that divine beauty? My eagerness to see you increases more and more. Just like we want to go to see Radha Madhava every day. Why? We want to see the 8 gopis every day. Why? Because they're so beautiful that our eagerness to see them becomes increased day after day. So the Lord is addressed as Deva, which means Divya Rupa, transcendental beautiful form, which is the inspiration for seeing Him. It's okay. Damodar. Now, the word Damodar means one who is bound by ropes of love. But actually it indicates the feature of the Lord as Bhakta-Vatsalya. What does Bhakta-Vatsalya mean? That He is very, very kind and affectionate to His devotees. You can turn it down a little. He's very affectionate to his devotees. So, this is another, these names all indicate different qualities of the Lord. His beauty, his kindness and compassion to his devotees. And a secondary feature about this Bhakta Vatsalya is that the Lord also becomes affected by his nature of being merciful to his devotees. The devotee receives the mercy, and the Lord becomes overwhelmed by his own compassionate nature. Just like we see in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Extreme compassion and mercy. The Lord becomes overwhelmed by his nature of being affectionate for his devotees. Ananta means what? Unlimited. And in this case, what is the unlimited feature of the Lord that the devotee is seeking? His unlimited mercy and kindness. I have no good qualification. I'm addressing you as Ananta because I require your unlimited mercy. Prabhu. Prabhu means, O you who are endowed with inconceivable, limitless, and astonishing potencies. Is addressed as Prabhu. Prabhu means simply master. But master of what? Master of unlimited potencies. So since you have unlimited potencies, although I am unlimitedly fallen, surely you can deliver me. Surely you can bestow your Kripa Shakti upon me. Then Isha. Isha means what? You can say it means controller, supreme controller. But here he's suggesting Param Svatantra. You are supremely independent. Because most Ishvaras depend upon Krishna, who is the Param Ishvara. But Krishna is Param Ishvara. So if he's Param Ishvara, it means he's Svatantra. Svatantra means he's independent. So, I'm not qualified for your mercy, he says. I have so many bad qualities. So anybody else would not be able to deliver me because they're subject to rules and regulations. But since you're the Parameshvara, you're the Supreme Isha, you're Svatantra, you're independent, even though I don't have the qualification, you can deliver me. This is the advantage of going to Krishna. Sarva Kama, Moksha Kama, Akama, whatever your position is, you go to Krishna because he's Svatantra. He can reconcile everything and deliver you his mercy. And then he says Vishnu. Now Vishnu suggests that he is Hey Sarva Vyapaka. Oh, you who are all pervading. Why does he say you are all pervading? Because I know you are fond of entering. You are very fond of entering into Vrindavan's secluded places, the caves, the kunjas of Vrindavan. I know that you are Nanda Nandana. In the previous verses, he's also been called that way. I know you are Yasoda Nandana. You are the son of the Gopi Yasoda and the Gopi Nanda Maharaj. And I know that you are the dearmost lover of Radharani. So you are certainly in Vrindavan. But you are also Vishnu. You are all pervading. So even though I am so far away from where you are, you can easily come to me. Because you're everywhere, so you can simultaneously be present in Vrindavan, enjoying your eternal pastimes with your beloved devotees, and you can also come and give me your darshan. This is how he's praying today. So we'll stop here. Anybody have any questions or comments?
It seems that our main teachings, as you quoted, Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta, don't try to see Krishna, let Krishna see you. And we hear that Prabhupada says sometimes verses like Man Manama, always think of me, become a devotee. These are most important verses in Bhagavad Gita. We're always hearing this as almost most important, and not so much direct darshan. So how do when he's talking about hearing this prayer, it's
direct.
It's much more direct.
Yes, but it's also, otherwise if we don't want direct darshan, why are we worshipping the deity? The deity is certainly giving direct darshan. Our form of deity worship is a form of direct darshan. The holy name and chanting is another type of direct darshan, through hearing, transcendental sound. The main point when we say, don't try to see Krishna, act in a way that Krishna will show himself to you, but we hope to see the direct darshan of the Lord when he shows himself. But the main point in that statement, don't try to see Krishna, act in a way that Krishna will show himself to you, is don't desire before deserving. First deserve, then desire. That's the main point there. But as we perform devotional service, the eagerness will become manifest in our heart to want to be able to serve Krishna personally. And that eagerness is not a selfish eagerness. Just like the gopis want to serve Krishna, they want to be with Krishna. They want that Krishna should embrace them. Why? Not for their pleasure, actually for Krishna's pleasure. Because they know that when Krishna embraces them, he will feel unlimitedly pleased. So a devotee's desire to see the Lord is not the same when he should not mistake the advanced devotee's feeling of wanting to see Krishna and a neophyte wanting to see. And manmana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. Engage your mind in thinking of me, then bowing down before me. Become my devotee and bow down before me, so you get to see the Lord. By engaging the mind in thinking of me, then you will come to the point of seeing the Lord, and you'll be able to bow down and offer your obeisances unto him. So even in that prayer, we can see a sequence. Man mana bhava, mad bhakto, mad yaji mam namaskuru. Engage your mind in thinking of me. Then you're becoming, by doing so, you'll be my devotee. And by becoming devoted to me, you will be able to see me directly and offer your services by bowing down before me. So there's a good sequence that confirms this.
By undivided devotional service, can it be seen as a...
Another question or comment? All right, we can stop here then. No other questions? Yes.
Is it possible to engage in every of our sentimental material feelings in devotional?
Is there a possibility of engaging our material sentiments in devotional service? There is, but it should be expertly guided by the spiritual master. Otherwise, it'll land up in sense gratification. If you have material sentiments, sometimes the spiritual master will utilize these and engage them in Krishna's service. But if you try on your own, it may lead to problems. So in any case, we should try to engage in service under the guidance of our spiritual authorities. All right, let us stop here. We can go to Arti now. Panchakopatarubhashta kripa sindhu vyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.